Welcome to Awaken Thy Love YouTube channel. If you enjoy this content and would like more of anything, readings from the text, more explanations through this channel of some of the concepts from A Course in Miracles, any specific questions or concepts that you would like to address, please feel free to reach out, send me a message or comment on this post, and please feel free to share this channel with those whom you love, with those who are studying the course. And I would love to connect with that community. We also have a class that meets on Monday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If anyone ever wants to join, I can send out that Zoom link. So this is a little discourse on, the Course in Miracles student workbook. And I'm going to share a little bit from the preface of the book about the workbook and what it includes, as well as some personal experience on how the workbook has changed my life and the lives of those around me. So please feel free to follow along and then follow along with the workbook if it resonates with you to practice this year. And please feel free to come in at any time. So the workbook includes 365 lessons, one for each day of the year. It is not necessary, however, to do the lessons at that tempo, and one might want to remain with a particularly appealing lesson for more than one day. The instructions urge only that not more than one lesson a day should be attempted. The practical nature of the workbook is underscored by the introduction to its lessons, which emphasizes experience through application rather than a prior commitment to a spiritual goal. Some of the ideas the workbook presents you will find hard to believe, and others may seem to be quite startling. This does not matter. You are merely asked to apply the ideas as you are directed to do. You are not asked to judge them at all. You are asked only to use them. It is their use that will give them meaning to you and will show you that they are true. Remember only this: you need not believe the ideas. You need not accept them, and you need not even welcome them. Some of them you may actively resist. None of this will matter or decrease their efficacy. But do not allow yourself to make exceptions in applying the ideas the workbook contains. And whatever your reactions to the ideas may be, use them. Nothing more than that is required. So, after working with the student workbook for the past 2 years and going through it with a lovely group of students that chose to study together and hold space for each other as we took on this task last year, the ideas in the workbook, many of them are actually very appealing and beautiful, showing us our oneness with everyone and everything. And others are, as it says, quite startling or hard to believe for the logical mind. And, this can also be true. Sometimes the idea is really beautiful. You're like, yeah, I like that idea. In my defenselessness, my safety lies. Things like that. And it's like, yeah, I like this. And then it really challenges our subconscious mind. And we may find ourselves feeling really triggered throughout the day. We may find just this like deep restlessness or unsettledness as the idea is penetrating. We may find resistance to practicing the idea throughout the day. And the point isn't to practice it perfectly. The point isn't to make meaning, as it says, out of the lesson. The point is to just simply do it and do it objectively as possible, noticing any judgment that comes in and just forgiving it, correcting it, and yeah, it's a really, really beautiful practice. It can transform our relationships with others as we use people in our lives who have been challenging to us or have felt like enemies, and bring them into the context of some of the exercises. And we can find a lot of really beautiful healing and forgiveness results in the world around us, because it's what's being reflected that changes as the inner realm and the inner deep beliefs change. Another aspect of working with the student workbook is, yeah, just finding a lot more neutrality and acceptance in the world and for everything that is. So we realize we are not this body. We are not what seems to be happening in the world. And that gives us more love and compassion and bandwidth to pray for others, to share with others what we are learning, and to encourage forgiveness in others, not through our words, but through our simple presence. And through this practice, we become teachers for God. We become vessels for the Christ, for the Holy Spirit to move through. And yeah, this has just been such a blessing in life, and just really changed the nature of relationships and the nature of relationship to self and to spirit as we slow down and feel God in all things. We see love in God's creation, and we see the sinlessness in ourselves and in others. We see the disillusion of our human mirrors around us. And so we find more love and compassion and forgiveness. And yeah, the student workbook is a very efficient way to reprogram our minds. And you don't have to be a Christian. You don't have to hold any specific belief systems. It doesn't interfere with any other belief systems that we practice if they are systems of truth. And self-realization. This is a self-study course, so it's an experiential opportunity. And I myself am a Kriya yogi. I study Kriya yoga and practice Kriya yoga daily, and I was able to intertwine these practices with my Kriya practice and repeat the exercises before going into these deep meditative states, and for longer periods of time often than the workbook suggested, especially the second time around doing it. And the ideas just went deeper. It felt like the change happened more quickly. And so, yeah, the student workbook has been absolutely life-changing. I feel it has deepened my spiritual life, my commitment to spiritual practices, with ease and grace, and without forcing or trying, just forgiving and accepting wherever I'm at, whatever's coming up. It talks about, really, when we do this work, it talks in the course, we have entered the classroom of the Christ. So it doesn't mean that things necessarily get easier in life. In fact, they may be more abrupt or challenging ideas that test us. However, what does occur is we approach things with more ease. We become more able to respond rather than react in stressful situations. And the Holy Spirit is with us, moving through us, and helps us to settle the energies of our trials more quickly, efficiently, and easefully. So, relationship with self, relationship with spirit, relationships with others have just become such a joy. And it's such a joy to share these teachings and to speak to them from a place of as much neutrality as possible, from a place of optimism, love, and joy, just knowing that this is a Course in Miracles, and it is a required course. All of our brothers will eventually come to God and come to remember our oneness, because it is already so. So, wishing us many blessings in the wisdom of A Course in Miracles in this upcoming year, and looking forward to practicing the student workbook exercises at an even deeper level this third time around. So, thank you all for listening. Again, please reach out if there's anything specific you would like to hear a discourse on from A Course in Miracles, or any other teachings of truth or self-realization. Many blessings on our journey. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.